You're watching Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Schultz, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We have the latest on Sam Darnold, a new report from ESPN Seahawks insider Brady Henderson details some interesting developments on why Seattle chose Sam Darnold and what they expect from him. We'll tell you everything you need to know coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we are closing in on 68,000 subscribers here on the channel. We are less than 250 away from reaching that next milestone. You may be wondering, why should I subscribe to Seattle Seahawks Today? Well, we're the most interactive Seahawks channel on YouTube as we're bringing you our daily news and rumors. We have breaking news, Q&A mailbags, live shows 3 days a week. We're doing more content than ever before. The only thing missing is you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I want to make sure you subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you a thing. 100% free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Subscribe now, and we'll get started with today's show. ESPN Seahawks insider Brady Henderson gave an update on what the Seattle Seahawks exactly see in Sam Darnold. It was kind of two parts in Henderson's reporting. One came from an interview he did with Seattle Sports. The other was his writings he did with ESPN within the last couple of days. And so let's go ahead and begin with number one, and that is they like the fact that he's young and cheap, which is music to my ears when comparing him to his predecessor, Geno Smith. I think Seattle, and I'm on record saying this, I know not everybody agrees with this, that he is a better quarterback than Geno Smith. He is younger, and he is cheaper. All those things are very good, especially when Geno Smith was looking to get paid even more money in his next contract, which he did end up getting from the Las Vegas Raiders after he requested a trade. Here's more from Henderson. I think they, referring to the Seahawks, would tell you that Geno Smith is a more talented thrower of the ball and that the reasons they thought he, Darnold, was the better option for them went beyond that. It was about he is younger, he was going to be a little bit cheaper, and I think that they would tell you that they think he's going to be a better leader than Geno Smith was. I want to discount the degree to which that was a factor in their decision to pivot away from Geno Smith and go to Sam Darnold, the leadership stuff. We'll talk more about the leadership stuff here in just a moment, but first and foremost, all of this is true. Although I think that Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Geno Smith, I do believe that Brady is correct in his assessment that the Seahawks feel that Geno is a better thrower of the ball. But just because he was a better thrower of the ball does not justify having Geno Smith over Sam Darnold here. I think when you look at Sam Darnold with his age, with just being 28 years old, the potential upside is higher for Sam than it is for Geno Smith. I think that you know what you're getting out of Geno Smith. I think Geno is a fine quarterback, but he's never going to be an elite quarterback. With Sam Darnold coming off the best season of his career, which was better than any season that Geno Smith has had in his career, there is a great unknown here. Now, it's not guaranteed that Sam Darnold is going to be a star quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Nothing's guaranteed. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow, for that matter. But with that said, you're looking at it just as a simple numbers game here. All right, we can go younger, we can go cheaper, and we have a chance to go for a guy that has more upside, more potential than what we already know what we're getting from Geno Smith. That made a lot of sense for Seattle to make the change as they did. And not to mention, Geno didn't want to be here anymore with the trade request that he made. Who is going to have a better season in 2025? Will it be Sam, the gingerbread man, or will it be Geno Smith, the new blackjack dealer? Type SD for Sam Darnold. Type GS for Geno Smith. Weigh in on a pinned comment today and let us know how you feel. Number two, according to the reporting from Brady Henderson, back on the leadership side of things, there was a feeling that a new voice was needed at the QB1 position, that things with Geno Smith had kind of gone stale of sorts, that Geno wasn't necessarily vibing right with everybody else in the same way that they were looking for from their starting quarterback, and that they don't feel like that they're going to have those issues with Sam Darnold in that same sense. Henderson said this: I know people will cringe hearing that, but I really think that was a factor here. That some of the challenges with Geno were his temperament and the way that he carried himself, the way that he interacted with teammates. And I think that they will tell you that. Nobody knows how it's going to go on the field. But I think people who are in the building who know Sam Darnold have vouched for the idea that this guy's a good leader and he's going to relate to his teammates. He's going to handle adversity well. And I think Sam's up for a challenge here. Not everything's going to be perfect. We know about the issues with this offensive line. You're installing a new offensive scheme in place. But Sam Darnold has said all the right things. And I know he had a bad OTA practice last Monday. But you better believe that one bad OTA practice is not going to define Sam Darnold. He's faced adversity before, head on, and he's fought through those challenges in the past. And I think with Sam, too, it's a breath of fresh air. Sam is excited to be here. You hear these things about being a good leader and that it's not about him, it's about the team. And I think, not trying to throw Geno Smith under the bus here, but there had become this idea of sorts that Geno was so focused on getting paid. And we know about, him going for the bonuses in that final game of the regular season, even though they had nothing to play for, and chasing the bag and all that, that there was so many things that Geno was thinking about himself and not putting the team interests ahead of himself. And you're not going to have that with Sam Darnold anymore. And it's exciting now. And I think that's a step in the right direction from that, and that Sam's saying and doing all the right things so far. And I'm not blocked on X by Sam Darnold like I was Geno Smith, but that's a whole other story for another day. What do you think about the offseason Seattle has had with the decisions they've made? How would you grade the offseason? A, B, C, D, or F? Weigh in the comments section and let us know how you feel. So more reporting from Henderson as far as the expectation, the intel of what Seattle wants to see Sam Darnold work on. And the big point of emphasis is going to be the throw time for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I think, was in a similar situation, offensive line-wise, to Geno Smith there in Minnesota as what Geno was in Seattle. He was sacked nearly as much as Geno Smith was, and he was sacked 9 times in the divisional round against, or the wildcard round, rather, against the Los Angeles Rams. The offensive line in Minnesota did him no favors, but yet he still succeeded. Now, some of it, might I add you, was Sam's own doing. One of his big problems was he was holding on to the ball too long. And that is something that Sam has acknowledged that he needs to improve on, that he needs to change. Henderson wrote this: 2 specific things bear watching in light of the uncertainties with Seattle's O-line as well as Darnold's awful finish to last season. Number 1, Darnold, who is ranked 34th last year in average time before throw, was sacked 9 times in the Vikings' playoff loss, getting the ball out on time. We'll show you number 2 here in just a moment. No question about it. This has to improve if you're Sam Darnold here, because as we mentioned, you're in a similar offensive line situation to what you were in a year ago, and quite frankly, probably worse than what you were in Minnesota. He cannot afford to not fix this issue of not getting the ball out quicker, whether it's more screens, quick passing, whatever they need to adapt. What's the old saying, adapt or die? He's got to change that and get the ball out quicker. And Sam knows this. And to me, when we talk about leadership and acknowledging your flaws and working on those mistakes, The fact that Sam is putting in the work to improve on this is a huge step to tell me that he's going to try to get this right. And I think that's big for Seattle, but the offensive line is going to do their part as well. What's your confidence level in the Seahawks offensive line? Scale it for me 1 through 10. How you feeling about this group? Wait in the comment section. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. The other half of that on improving the throw time is a focus on avoiding sacks. All right? Part of it is going to help that Seattle's got a fullback in this offense compared to what they had last year. That's an extra blocker in there. That'll be a step in the right direction. But when you move Sam around, can he be efficient to get the ball out and avoid those sacks, especially when we don't know how much you can count on this offensive line to necessarily get the job done. Henderson wrote this. Number 2, how much is Kubiak's scheme helping him avoid sacks by getting him outside the pocket? I think another thing, too, establishing the run will help because that's going to keep defenses on their toes of not knowing what is coming next in the running or passing game if you find that right balance. And that has been a big point of emphasis of why Clint Kubiak's the new OC and why Ryan Grubb is gone now is because they want to get back to being a physical run-first football team, and that's going to help Sam Darnold. Another thing I'd like to see is less play-action passing. Anyone that plays Madden knows firsthand that play action is the easiest way to set up for sacks. Your quarterback's holding the ball a little bit longer, giving the defense a little bit more time to get there, and it's not ideal. If I'm Clint Kubiak, and I want to do one thing different, especially compared to the Ryan Grubb offense, I saw way too much play-action passing last year. Way too much. And if you want Sam Darnold to get the ball out quicker, and if you want the offensive line to do a little bit less, I am minimizing the play-action passing. You're not fooling anybody if your quarterback's on the ground. Plain and simple, folks. I think that alone will help everybody out if they can stick away from the play-action passing to an extent. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now for free, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.